Yo guys, Vision SGN here, bringing you Marvel Rivals Human Torch gameplay and guide as a part of my new mini-series of character guides where I break down how to play all of the heroes in the game. And for episode 2, I'll be breaking down how to play as Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch, and share both gameplay of my first ever game as the Human Torch, as well as sharing my thoughts of the character, providing a breakdown of all of his abilities, including both of his team-ups, as well as discuss his strengths and weaknesses. So, let's get right into it. So, as a part of the new Marvel Rivals 1.5 Season 1 update, NetEase Games have provided us with an abundance of new content, including 2 new characters, map and skins. Both of the new characters are the final members of the Fantastic Four, and here we have the Human Torch, who is just so much fun to use, incredibly viable, and in my opinion, he's really well balanced, but that's just based on my own early experience with him so far. He has a 3-star difficulty rating, for the most part quite simple to use, feels very similar to using a mixture of Iron Man mixed with Storm. Great in the air, not too fast, which I was quite surprised with and pleased with. I thought might be a slightly too quick for players to hit, but for the most part, he's not too quick. Still good enough to be in the air and be a threat, but overall well balanced in my opinion so far. And that's always a concern for us players, right? When a new hero is added, you just never quite know, are they going to be too powerful? Are they going to be pre-average and therefore not viable? I would say so far he's been quite balanced, and I wouldn't say too overpowered by any means. There's been a lot of slack and criticism I've seen for the early gameplay footage where the two characters, both him and Storm, have paired together and got this crazy overpowered ultimate ability. But for the most part, I think we have to remember that's 2 ultimate abilities being paired together. But that's just my opinion. Let's get right into the guide and how he used the Human Torch and his abilities. So first up, his primary attack, known as the Fire Cluster, allows you to throw small clusters of fire at the enemies, where you'll notice on screen there's a number of flame symbols that you'll see, which indicates how much energy or fire you have built up, which will eventually deplete if you're repeatedly spamming, which I think is very well balanced, and this is used by pressing R2 on PlayStation. As for his R1 ability, the Blazing Blast, this launches fireballs at enemies, dealing great splash damage, and can create flame fields which will then hurt enemies within. This ability does great damage when you hit enemies directly, so bear that in mind. As for his triangle ability, Pyro Prison, where you are able to connect flame fields when 2 or more exist by using your R1 ability, which then forms a wall of fire which will continually damage enemies who are trapped within, as well as hurt other enemies that enter this wall or flies through this wall. As for his circle ability, Plasma Body, this will allow Human Torch to enter a state of accelerated ascent, which effectively makes it easier for you to maneuver around and dodge enemies, making you far more evasive and harder to hit. Which is kind of similar to Iron Man with his boost, where he effectively is allowed to fly away, but it's not that fast. And then as for his square ability, the Flaming Meteor, you are able to dive towards the ground, dealing damage and detonating any flame fields that you hit. So if you dive into an enemy that's within your flame field, it will ignite those flame fields and deal more damage. As for his ultimate ability, Supernova, when you enter this ult, you deal fire damage to all nearby enemies, and then you can begin using his Flaming Tornado by pressing R1, which replaces the Blazing Blast ability and creates these really cool and fun, powerful tornadoes, and when placed well, you can prevent enemies from backing up and deals insane damage for enemies that are trapped within, but you can also enter flying mode, Plasma Body, without any cost when you're in this ultimate, so make sure you're making the most of this. As for his team-up abilities, the Human Torch has 2, one of them being with Storm, and as I mentioned earlier in the video, is very controversial right now, where Storm gains Omega Fire. When you place your Supernova ultimate, Storm can then pair her Omega Hurricane ultimate with yours to make this one deadly and powerful combined ultimate. So, she does this by summoning Omega Fire when she sees one of the flaming tornadoes on the floor. Likewise, when Storm uses her ultimate, the Human Torch can then transform his ultimate into Burning Hurricane, which essentially ignites Storm's ultimate ability, making it more powerful and deadly, and then you're free to place down your flaming tornadoes, and any of these that you place that's caught within the combined ult of Storm will grow in size and deal more damage. As for his other team-up ability with the Fantastic Four, United Siblings, which provides the Fantastic Four team with damage resistance due to Invisible Woman's psionic might, fortifying them, and allows the Human Torch, Mr. Fantastic, and the Thing to continually generate bonus health, making up for lost health each second the ability is active, which is super powerful and can be activated by pressing X only when the Invisible Woman is on the team, of course. But there you have it, that is the full guide of the Human Torch and both his abilities and his team-ups, as well as my initial thoughts on the Human Torch following my short experience using the character so far, but I'll definitely be using him a lot more this weekend, as well as the Thing, which I'll be bringing out episode 3 as a part of my new Hero Guide mini-series, which I know I'm a little late to the party on doing, but hopefully it will help other new players on how to learn both the individual heroes of the game, but also learn the game itself. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and let me know down below your initial thoughts on both this character and the Thing, and what you think of the team-up abilities in the game. I'm Vision SGN, and I'll see you in the next one.